Hello. Happy Wednesday, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Randy Jameson. Hey, y'all. Hope you're having a great day. Heartland HQ with Ding Tank. Hello. What's going on? Auntie Ann. Howdy, howdy. Extra. Forgot to turn my thing down there. There you go. Trying to look at the screen, but it's a little bit hard. I'm going to try to look up here. It's too hard. Sometimes it's easier to look on my phone. Depends on what my eyes are doing that day. Susan Rogers, hello. Todd's Adventures, good evening, everyone. Paul Honeyman, hello. What's going on? Neil says, hello, Sid, Mike, and Frankie. Hope all is well in the SIP. Heat index of 109 where he is today. My goodness, it's toasty. We had a couple days like that where it was very spicy. Very spicy. Yep. Jerry Jones, hello. What's going on? Clayton Collins, howdy, howdy. Old Man King Homestead, hello. David Glunt, hello. Alan Hutchinson from Clarkville, Tennessee. That's where my dad was born. Joe Jacobson, hello. Prayers and blessings all from Eastern Iowa. James Hall, hello. I love it. I love it. Yeah, dude, if you guys have not watched what's today? Today's Wednesday, so it was Tuesday's video. I don't even know what day it is. I was just telling Mike as I was setting this up, I couldn't remember my passcode for my ATM card at the pharmacy today. My brain is not braining. I have been up the last 2 days. I've gotten up at 3 a.m. to work on videos, and because I'm trying to get a bunch done before I leave, and so I'm just stupid right now. But anyway, if you haven't watched Tuesday's video on 3 Mississippi, Frankie, mostly Frankie, and Mike, but I was very impressed. She like ripped the whole mower apart and like put it back together and, you know, changed the blades out and all that. So, but we took a lot of heat for the way that we did it. So I'm going to address that real quick. And I haven't had a chance because life to pin it in the comments of that video. Everyone was like, why are you doing that? Do you take the engine out of your car when you change the oil? So basically, for those of you who haven't seen it, we had to take the mower deck off in order to take the blades off to sharpen them. We ended up having to change them because they were in real bad shape. I mean, they need like completely ground down. Like they're, anyway, I don't even know if they're salvageable. They were like pitted because Mike sometimes underestimates the level of like if it needs to be bush hogged or if it just needs to be mowed, and he gets very creative with that. So anyway, so the blades were a little bit sad, but the reason that they didn't just jack it up with the forklift or put it on a, you know, jack it up in some way, or, you know, tilt it backwards. Mike had tried to do that when he worked on something on it before. And basically you can't with this model of mower. And he looked on the internet because it wasn't anywhere. And basically you have to take the whole mower deck off because of the way that he explained it better than I am probably about to, but the blades, the way that they are, you can't work underneath it and get to it and do what you need to do. It's a different model and it's a different design, and the blades themselves, because of the way that the threads are on them, you actually have to torque them down to, what was it? Was it 35 or 65? Some ungodly amount. I think it was 65. Otherwise they go flying off. So you can't do that overhead. And anyway, so that's why they did it, quote unquote, the hard way. But it had to be done that way. So there we go. Lila Newton, hello. What's going on? What's going on, ma'am? Larry Parrish, hello. Hope everything's going well. Yes. Pettit Jean River Homestead, hello. Sorry, I'm backtracking on here. It's easier if I miss comments to come back through here and do it than to try to scroll on my big screen. So I apologize for not making eye contact. Felix from Denmark, hello. What's going on? Sid's having early vacation issues. Wine does mess with the memory, Sid. I really don't drink wine. I used to, way back in the day, I would drink wine sometimes, but I really don't drink wine anymore. And when I did drink wine, I drank, and I still do occasionally. I'll be like, "Oh, I want to have one." That Stella Rosa wine, and I'll mix it with like flavored sparkling water because I like to drink out of these. And so I'll mix it with sparkling water, and I make like a fruit punch essentially. But I haven't done that in a hot minute. Frankie was awesome doing the blade change. Yes, she was, Paul. She is so, and really in the last year, and it was good practice for her working on the truck too. Which no, they have not officially started that yet. I think he ordered a couple pieces for it, but or a couple things that they needed for it, but they haven't started on it yet because it has just been non-stop of like you name it, it's been happening. You name it, it's been happening. And then with me getting ready to leave for a week, they're going to be, I don't know if they're ready for me to be gone for a week, to be honest. I'm a little concerned. I'm trying to get everything like squared away. I'm making sure all the animals have plenty of food and that everything is well stocked. And I'm doing a big grocery store run for them on Friday before I leave. And I'm making a big batch of stew before I leave so they have food at least for a couple of days. And I know Frankie will get a few meals between school and church that week. And not that Mike like doesn't cook. He knows how to cook. He's a good cook. I'm sure they'll barbecue one night. But like sometimes, you know how the dads sometimes don't remember to feed the kids, or like, oh, he'll be like, oh, it's 10 o'clock at night. I guess I should make something. And it'll be like a tortilla with, you know, cheese on it. You can't even call it a quesadilla because you like make it in the microwave and it's not really like it's like a bastardized version of a quesadilla, I guess. But yeah. It did not, did that mower come from California? That would explain it. No, it was just a brand new model. And this is one of those quirks on this model. Like with our Cub Cadet, we can jack it up, and they've changed the blades on that by jacking it up and doing it. But this one you can't because of the way it has to be torqued down and the way the deck is. You can't do it. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But we took a lot of heat, and I was like, I know there was a reason we did it that way, but I was so focused on other stuff that I was like, I can't remember. So I'd kind of been like not answering comments on that video because I was like, you know, I don't know. But I'm on the moonshine now, not the wine. No, I really, honestly, guys, I mean, I don't drink very often. I drink like socially, and I am a hermit. So I don't drink very often. If we go to a friend's house, I'll have a few beers or a few White Claws or maybe a margarita if it's one of those nights. And occasionally I'll have a drink while I'm cooking dinner. Like if I'm making something where I have to be in the kitchen for a while, you know. But yeah, I'm not a big drinker. I never really have been a big drinker. But I'm definitely like, if I'm gonna go out, I want to have a beverage, and I'll have like one or two, you know, because usually I'm driving if I'm going somewhere with my girlfriends or whatever, so I don't usually sound like I get slammered. But a few nights of barbecue in this heat, yeah, maybe they might. It kind of depends on time that they have too, because during the week, Mike's got a couple meetings next week, like after work that are like, church and stuff. And then Frankie's got stuff at church and practice. And so it's going to be, and there's a football game on Friday night that he told her she could go to. So he just has to worry about picking her up from that. So she can just stay after school. But, it's just with me not here, I'm always like, okay, don't forget you have to bring this, and don't forget you have to do this, and don't forget you have this on this day. And like with me not here to do that, I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Like even tonight. So today, perfect example of where my brain is just not braining, guys. So today I had written myself a note. They were doing a special back to school night. They needed parents to make desserts. right? They're going swimming at the country club. We're very bougie. We have a country club. It's not what you think, but anyway, there is a pool there, and so every year they have this back to school night there where the kids get to go swimming and they barbecue hot dogs, and parents bring desserts or sides or whatever. And so this year I was like, okay, yeah, I've done it before. I brought different things, and I was like, I'll just make some cookies. Like, I'll do some cake box cookies, be super easy, whatever. I made it. I put it on my list of my reminders. I had 2 things on that particular reminder line. I did the one thing, and I went back upstairs to go back to editing, and I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And I went back through my notes, and I was like, I didn't make the cookies. Come back downstairs, make the cookies. Then I'm, checking on them back and forth and back and forth. And I made a double batch, so of course they took twice as long. And got them all packaged up, ready to go before we were ready to leave, because we were leaving early. I had to go run by the pharmacy. I set them on the table, on the dining room table, and I was like, it's right by the corner by the front door. I'll remember, don't forget. I'll remember, don't forget. Never said a word to Frankie about it, that I had made these and that we needed to remember. Usually I'll tell her, like, even sometimes just the act of saying, don't forget to remind me XYZ, and she's like, she'll even say, like, well, I won't remember or whatever, but just me saying remind me will help me remember. Anyway, we walked out the door, we go to town, we run our errands, I drop her off. I dropped her off, I start heading back home, and I go, oh my God, I left the cookies at home. I come back home, I pick up the cookies. At this point now, I'm dangerously low on gas, because I've now had to make an extra trip into town that I wasn't planning on. And the other day, when I was going to get gas, when I was in, where was I? Tupelo, I ran out of time and just wanted to get home after my doctor's appointment, which I'll tell you about in a minute. I haven't done any sippins and spillins this week, so I'm, except for Monday. So I'm like, you're getting it all at once, guys. So anyway, so I run home, and I'm like, okay, so I got to go to the gas station first, which luckily is right by the country club. So I go do that real quick and just put like $15 worth of gas in, get it to half a tank, and drop off the cookies, and come back home just in time to set this up. But I was like, my dumb bunny butt totally forgot the cookies that I made, that I spent an hour making earlier in the day. I was like, what a bonehead move, right? But that is just an example of how my entire week has gone so far, which does not bode well for me moving forward. I'm a little anxious about that. But anyway, oh, did I freeze? Or did just my thing freeze? Oh, I paused myself somehow on my screen. Okay, I thought I was frozen for a minute on my phone. Got nervous. So yeah, so that's what's going on with that. But I'm just trying to get everything lined up and done, so Mike will only have to really worry about one video while I'm gone. I was going to try. I may still be able to have time to shoot another one and get it ready from this weekend, but I don't know, because we'll have to film it Saturday, and I need to get to bed early Saturday night, because I basically have to leave in the middle of the night to drive to the airport. So I don't see that happening, but we'll see. David Glenn says, yeah, I've used my zero turn too, and I trim bushes and cut with the trimming up and run it through the pine chats, and there may be sticks in it. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, bring on the junk food. Yeah, that may be exactly what they end up doing. And me, like, even when I'm on a vacation or whatever, I already have in my notes for when I land, I need to go get contact solution, some water, because I like to keep water in my hotel room. And I don't like to just go buy bottles of water, so I'll get like a jug of water or like a case of water or something, because I'll drink it all before I leave. And I'll get some, like, dried fruit and some nuts or something, and maybe some microwave popcorn or something, just something, a little something to like nosh on in the hotel room. If you wake up in the middle of the night, or if you get in late and you don't really want to stop and get something, and you just have a little something, So not that I'm not big on like eating late generally, but when you're kind of off schedule and on a vacation like that, I like to have some healthy choices back at the room, or back at the cabin or whatever I'm staying in. Stop it. Oh, Paul says he was still braced up Friday. Otherwise, He's his usual self. Well, I'm glad you're doing a little better, maybe. Just a little bit. Shiloh Acres, hello. There we go. I'm like, why can't I make this up? Rob and Emily would be lost if I left for a week. I do trial mini run and book a hotel room in the next town over before I prep them. I'd love to take a solo trip to visit my cousin. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you kind of just have to trust the process and know that, like, your husband's an adult and he'll figure it out. It's easier now. I don't have quite the anxiety I did, like, when Frankie was younger. If I would, and then I never went on trips by myself, but until she was kind of old enough to fend for herself. But, like, even on, like, if I would go out, like, on a girls' evening, I'd be like, don't forget you have to feed her dinner. Like, she needs to be in bed by this time because she has school or she has what, you know. So, yeah. But I get you. I get you. It's hard sometimes. Oh, no, not at all, David. He said he hopes his comment on the blade change wasn't upsetting. Oh, not at all. No, some people were just kind of, and not that many, were just a little bit nasty about it. And I knew there was a reason why he did it that way, but it wasn't evident in the video, and he and I never discussed it. So I was like, I know he did that for a reason, but I don't know, like, what it was. And so I asked him today, and because I kept forgetting to ask him yesterday and the first part of today, and he was like, oh, well, this is why we did it that way. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that tracks, because he's not the type to not use the tractor as a force multiplier given the opportunity. Like, even the other day, they were taking stuff out of the rafters in the shop, and he had Frankie drive the tractor in the shop and put the forks up, and he put everything on a pallet, and then she brought it back down so that they didn't have to, like, carry it down. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, any excuse to use the tractor for something, it pretty much gets used. So that's why I was like, there has to be a reason they didn't jack it up in some form or fashion. So, but no, I was not offended at all. I did. I think I went about wine tasting in California, Greg. I think I went about, let's see, 1, 2, I think I went 3 times. Yeah, I think I went 3 times. I'm not, yeah, like, it's fun. It's, you know, but meh, like, I can do without it too. So, yeah, notes are good if you can remember the notes. That's you gotta remember to look at your notes. There's times where I'm like, oh, I forgot I wrote myself a note because I didn't check it. So sometimes you set the alarm on your phone, and you know, like, there was an email that I didn't respond to, and I was driving to Tupelo the other day, and I was like, oh shoot, I need to respond to that email as soon as I get parked. But I didn't have time when I got parked, so I had to wait till I was sitting in the doctor's office waiting, and then I emailed the person back. But it's just a constant state of panic this week, basically, of trying to get everything done and keep everything, you know. I had some maintenance stuff we had to do around here, and some mowing, and I had to fix so, okay. There's so much. See, I have not done sipping and spillings all week because I've literally been so busy, and I should have taken it with me and my mics with me and done one today, but I didn't. So the other day, you know, we had moved the goats down to the bottom paddock that we just made for them. Well, 2 days ago, was it Monday? I think it was Monday. I go out there in the morning, and Dan's in the top paddock in their old pen. And I'm like, how in the heck did you get into that pen? Like, great. So I go check the line, and I think I find where I think he got out. There was a couple of loose things where the either T-post clips had never been put on, or they got loose, or I don't know what, but they popped off or what. But there was, you know, he likes to go under. That's how he got out in the beginning and messed up Mike's garden, was he went under a section of the fence that was kind of loose. Anyway, so he was in that top pen, so I moved him back in, and we fixed the T-post clips, and then the next morning he's back in the top, and I'm like, how in the Houdini? So anyway, I went back out and checked, and there was still a little bit of give on one section. So I went and got a landscape timber and a couple cinder blocks, and I, like, made a roadblock, and he hasn't gotten back out since. Park and praise. So, but yeah, just if there's just one thing, it's another. Just constant, like, little things like that you got to, like, troubleshoot and take care of. And I probably do 100 little ones of those a day of stupid little things like that that I have to like fix or tweak or whatever. And this week my brain capacity is not there. I'm having one of those weeks. So, you know, it's just like that. Hat Creek, what's going on, Don? Sipping in massive overflow. That's right, Thunderstick. That's right. It's just word vomit tonight. That's what you're getting. You're getting word vomit. Because I didn't even realize I hadn't filmed one until this afternoon. And I was like, oh man, I never did that. Because normally I don't have to think about it. I don't have to add it to my list. It's part of my routine. But this week has been so out of routine and a little sleep deprived that I'm like, out of sorts. I'm just out of sorts. I'm telling you. I used to be a social drinker. The more I drank, the more sociable I got. There you have it. There you go. Dumb bunny butt. That's me. Southern Blast. That's me. I'm a dumb bunny butt. I know. And it's just getting worse and worse. Like if I don't write it down, if I don't, and then sometimes there's things like Michael asked me about something that I'm currently working on, but I'm also working on like 6 different things. And so he'll ask me about one of those things and I'll be like, I don't know, because that's not what's in front of me right now. It's like it's in the nebulous, but like I have to pull that back up and look at it. Like I can't answer that question. He's like, how come you can't just answer that? Like, how come you don't know? And I'm like, because my brain is basically all the tabs are open and I have to close a few tabs before I can like, get to one thing. So, and then everything else is just buffering. That's my brain 90% of the time. It's probably why I have a hard time sleeping sometimes. Like I have to, I literally will be like, oh, I'll wake up at 3 in the morning, have to go potty. And then I'll be like, oh, I need to check my email because I'm waiting to hear back on such and such. And then I go down a rabbit hole at 3 in the morning, or I'll be tired in the evening and I'll have already been up early and I'll be like, oh, I don't want to finish this video tonight, but it has to post tomorrow. So I'll get up at the crack of dawn to finish it because that's a good idea. And I do that instead. In theory, that's a good idea. In practice, it's kind of retarded. But at least it's uninterrupted because nobody bothers me at 3 in the morning. Nobody's coming in going, Mom, I need blah, blah, blah. Or this happened or that happened. And I can totally focus and the house is quiet. So there's pros to although during the day the house is pretty quiet with Frankie at school now that she's back at school. Mike's in his office, I'm at my office. We're both working, so there's not a lot of like interruptions. So tis what 'tis. I feel like I got really behind on comments because of all my word vomit tonight. Trying to catch up a little bit. I make a list and then I forget where I put the list. That's why I put my list on my phone in my notes. And I can make it disappear afterwards. I can just dot it and it goes away. Like I can complete it. It's like a check mark. And sometimes I do still write stuff down. Like when I'm editing, I make notes on random old envelopes. You should see my desk is hideous. There's just random notes on like intro, outro, this frame number, like just a mess next to me. And I don't know how I decipher it as I'm editing because it's not like I get a new envelope out with each edit. I just add to, and it's not like it's in a list either. It's just randomly written wherever my pen happens to fall at that moment in time. It's a hot mess, but that's kind of like the rest of my brain. So it works. It's my own weird filing system of not making any sense at all, but it works. So bless you. I did that once, forgetting to make cookies for a Christmas school party. I was like, oh no, and whipped into Kroger's, bought some cookies from the bakery, sped home and put them in my container. That's funny. That's funny. See, we've all done it. And that's one of the things I love about like our church too, is like nobody gets judgy. Like if you bring something that's store-bought, because all of us at one point have to some degree or another. Right. But I had specifically homemade these cookies and I was like, well, not homemade. I mean, they're cake box cookies. It wasn't like I not uber difficult to make. But I pizzazzed them up a little bit. I added some vanilla. I added some white chocolate chips to them. Like, I gave them a little zhuzh, you know? And I was like, the cookies need to be eaten. They need to go to the place, so I'm driving back and forth to town an extra trip. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Big country, what's going on? Cuddly Texan. Was that a diva sneeze? It was. That was a diva sneeze from the great beyond. That's right. Too funny. Let's see. I'm on a list, but I think it's a government watch list. That could be, James. That could be. You never know. I'm hoping I'm not on one or they won't let me fly this week. We'll see. Oh my goodness, I must have missed that one, Paul. Lord have mercy. Hey, things happen, you know? Things happen. There's times where she doesn't drink a lot of soda. She drinks more than I would like her to drink, but they make her burp. And sometimes when we're filming, she forgets that she's mic'd. And I'll be talking to Mike on camera, like he'll be saying something, and she'll just let one rip. And I'm like, homegirl, you have a mic on. Can you not? Like, can you not just right on the microphone? Like, that'd be great. Like, she's the worst, man. She's the worst. I'm telling you. Janky V, what's going on? What is going on? Probably most of us are on the list. All right. Where's Frankie's helper, aka Mike? He's still at work. He's over yonder there. Some of you might have just heard him sneeze. We were just talking about that. He's finishing up some stuff at work. So I don't know if he'll be able to join me or not for the live tonight. But while I've got you all here, there will not be a live next week because I'll be gone. So, and the diva may not be able to be on time. So, and I may or may not take my laptop with me depending on video statuses. I would like to be able to leave the laptop here and not have to travel with it because I get anxiety when I travel with the laptop because I worry something's going to happen to it or whatever. But if I'm in a situation where I have to, then I'll have to. But I prefer not to because that changes, like, that takes up basically one whole carry-on. So that's not ideal. And I don't like to check bags because that makes me paranoid. I don't check bags at all because I'm afraid they're going to lose my stuff. And so I don't do it, which I know may be an irrational fear, but I don't like it. So I don't do it. Did you get any on you when you would burp? Oh my goodness. Joe Jacobson, I'll ask Frankie to do it from her phone. Oh, I must have missed something. I must have missed a comment. I don't know. Well, if you're Christian or conservative or both, you more than likely are. True. They're really trying to crack down on that all around the world. Even the UK is trying to come after us over here from the tidbits I hear. But you know what? The way that the media has twisted so many things lately, it's hard to know what's true, what's got a grain of truth, what the twist is, if it's actually true. Like, there's very few, like, old school journalists left. You're live, not just a belch. Oh. Yeah, she doesn't, well, she'll be at youth group. So that's why she's not here on Wednesdays for lives. Sometimes during the summer she is if they don't have an extra summer activity because they don't have their regular youth schedule, but she'll be at youth group. So she won't be here. So it'll be Mike just by himself. So yeah, there won't be a live. Yeah. Leave the laptop. We will be here when you get back. Enjoy your vacation. Thank you. Yeah, it feels, I mean, I'm definitely I'm checking up on my mom too. I haven't seen her. Kind of see the status of things, how things are doing. Checking on my aunt. She's had some health stuff too. So just kind of, a family duty trip, I guess, as well, So, but yeah, We'll see. We'll see. I don't have a problem, spending a couple hours working on something um, while I'm there, but I just get nervous traveling with a laptop is all, because they're not always like, even when you just go through security, sometimes they're not very careful with your stuff. And so, yeah, even though I have a little padded laptop thing that like when we go to the meetups or whatever, I bring it with us then, but then it's like in my car, I can carefully take it out. It's still in a padded thing, but like when you're trying to cram stuff on a plane, yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. Just not a fan of that, I guess. The UK cannot come after you, Sid, unless you break the laws while you're in the UK. I know, but they were talking about coming after people making social media posts that were visible in their country. There was like a whole thing about it. I don't know. I didn't go down the rabbit hole on it, but yeah. MT Homestead, what's going on? Mike and Terry, what's happening? Jakey V says, I'm the family burper. Oh my goodness. What a skill. Well, it's funny because we have Lundy and Skylar, which are two. Well, I say Skylar is more of a medium-sized dog, but Lundy would be considered a big dog, a large dog. She's a German Shepherd, right? Now they both seem smaller to me because I've got my giant Anatolian Shepherds outside. So she seems tiny to me now. But Skylar will occasionally, out of nowhere, like their diet doesn't change. There's nothing different. Like, you're right. She will get the worst gas and it's audible. And she'll be like, hello? What's going on? Like and we'll be watching TV. Sometimes it's silent and all of a sudden we'll be like, oh, Skylar. Because you can tell it's hers. Like, it has a very specific odor. Like, it's not pleasant. Oh no, more stuff flying over your house, shaking plates off the shelf. Oh no. No good, no good. Lonely Hitchhiker Kent, what's going on? He says he hopes everyone is all good. I love it, I love it. Might have to do with the porthole live screen that was set up in New York. Got so bad they're shutting it down. I did hear, yeah, I do remember hearing something about the big screens broadcast, something, yeah. Again, snippets. I haven't, and I used to listen to like a political show like every morning that I trusted, that like really seemed to give a breakdown on the truth, but I stopped listening to them. I still occasionally do if there's something big going on. I'll go watch that, that day. But and I used to just walk around kind of like a podcast, and just listen to it while I was doing stuff. But I can't listen to that kind of stuff while I'm editing, and I don't like to keep my phone with me when I'm working because I know I'm going to drop it in something bad. So yeah. Out and about with Dave and Daisy. What's going on, Dave? What's happening? Eat my shorts. Come after me if you dare. I know. Well, the sad thing is, well, not to get too political, but oh well. There's things being done in the last few years in this country under the guise of public safety or wokeness or protection that is basically clamping down on a lot of our inalienable rights, mainly the mainly the First and Second Amendment, I suppose, are the ones that are really targeted, and then and then you have basically this lovely substitution of enter communism. Like, when has that ever worked out and not turned into a dictatorship? Like, anyway, it is what it is. That's just history. That's not really politics. That's history. You can look it up. You can study it. It's a thing. Dana Mason, what's going on? It's a lot better. It's covering up the thing again. Maybe I can see it on my phone. Well, maybe not. My phone's being special too. I don't know. Might be different. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Than what it was. Well, that's good. I'm glad things are better than what it was. I'm sorry if you were having a struggle bus though. Matt Barker says, hope everyone's having a good week. That's right. I know, but you know how I am. I can't, I've already forgotten how to do it. and I didn't do it during the live. So, but it's fine. It's fine. Because I can see it on my phone. Oh, so you guys know, if you watched the last couple Sips and Spillins, I was supposed to go in on Monday for my big shot to help with my back and my hip, right? Another one of my brain fogs that day on my way there. Fully knew I was going to Tupelo, mind you, right? I don't go to Tupelo very often. I usually go, like, if I go to Kroger, I'm going to Starkville, right? I just don't go to Tupelo very often for, you know, unless I'm seeing a doctor or something down there. So my girlfriend needed me to get something out in the mail because her husband was traveling for work and it had to meet him at a certain point at a certain time. And so she's like, hey, can you take it to the UPS place? And I was like, sure. So I punched it in my phone after I get it from her. And it went to the last UPS store that I went to, which is the one in Starkville. So I start driving to Starkville, which is in the complete opposite direction from Tupelo. I get about halfway there and realize, wait a minute, I know these roads. Oh my gosh, I'm going to Starkville. I pull over, I look, sure enough, yep, I'm on my way to Starkville. That's not where I want to go. So I put in the doctor's office. I end up being late to the doctor's office. Luckily, they still saw me. But you go through 3 different like nurses basically before you get to like the nurse practitioner. And she was like, okay, so the type of shot that you need, we actually don't do here. And I was like, then why am I here? I was like, why am I here? And she's like, well, you actually have to go to the location up north in South Haven. And I was like, okay. And she starts describing the procedure to me. And I'm like, do I need somebody to drive me there? Like, this sounds like I'm not going to be able to drive afterwards. And she's like, oh, yeah, you can't take yourself. So I called my girlfriend Beth and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And Thursday afternoon in 2 weeks. So she's like, we can go to Target. I'm in. I'm like, okay. So, because apparently Starkville, South Haven is like one of the closest Targets, I guess, to our area. So I was like, okay, let's go. So, so it basically got postponed. So, and they had given me like basically methocarbamol, which is technically a muscle relaxer, but it doesn't really. I might as well chew on an aspirin, I feel like. Anyway, and I was like, hey, this isn't working. I thought I was getting this pain shot before my trip. Is there anything else you can give me in the meantime? So luckily, after much back and forth between the pain management clinic and my orthopedist, they were like, yes, here. So I was able to get something, and I don't even like to take stuff very often. I only want to take it when it's like, I can tell it's going to be bad today, or it's gotten bad through the course of the day and I need something to like help it at night, because sometimes at night I'm just like, oh, I'm dying. I can't lay on my hip. I can't lay back. I'm like struggle busting to get comfortable. And I basically just have to wait till I'm tired enough to pass out. So, and sometimes that happens, but you know, I like how they get upset when you're late at the doctor's appointment, but it's okay for you to be there 15 minutes early and then have you wait past your appointment time. 100% MT. That's basically what happened. So what happened was I was only going to be 10 minutes late according to the GPS. And I tried to call them to let them know I was going to be late, but I got like into the loop of nothingness, you know, sometimes when you call a doctor. And so I get into Tupelo and I'm down on Main Street in Tupelo. And anybody who's familiar with like Main Street in Tupelo, it's sort of like an antique row and some trendy shops and like whatever, right? And my GPS just stopped. It acted like I had arrived. And I was like, the heck? So I pulled into some random parking lot and it kept saying I was there, but I was not there. That is not the right street. So I'm trying to call them and I finally get through and she's like, "Oh, you're very far away. We might have to reschedule you." I was 2 miles away. For whatever reason, my GPS just like gave up on life and decided like it had done enough for the day. So I was like, "Cool. I have no idea. Like, what's the nearest landmark?" And she's like, "Walmart." And I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, and I actually knew exactly where it was because if she had just said, "We're next to the post office where you've picked up your geese and your ducks and whatever," I would have known exactly where to go. But anyway, um, they're in this little thing over there. So I get there and it's like 2:20 something by the time I get there. And so I ended up waiting for a good 30 minutes, I think, before. But yeah, good times, man. Good times, you know, good times. But I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. The gal that made the appointment wasn't clear because she said, "We have two different locations." And I was like, "Well, South Haven's kind of far for me. Am I able to get this in Tupelo, this shot in Tupelo?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "Cool, sign me up for Tupelo." It's a lie. But it's fine. It's fine. That's like them wanting to send Emily to a geologist. A geologist? An hour and 20 minutes away. I don't think you mean geologist, but maybe. Insurance company. They worked with us to take her to one in a local area. Maybe dermatologist, not geologist. I don't know. I mean, if you've got an insurance company that covers rocks for your daughter, then like ask them to send you a diamond because that's at least worth something. I was like, I read that like 3 times before I said anything because I was like, am I reading it wrong? I don't have my reading glasses on right now, so I'm squinting and I'm looking. Oh, gynecologist, maybe. Okay, maybe that's what she meant. That could be. Well, either way, it's definitely not a geologist. I mean, I guess it's sort of like spelunking or going caving. So maybe geologist is correct. I don't know. Is that too much? Sometimes I'm too much. I never know. Um, People know around here if I'm asking for pain management stuff, I need it because I hate taking meds, period. Exactly. I'm the same way. Like I've had pain from my scoliosis since second grade. That's when I remember it first hurting. And everybody just kind of going, "You can't have back pain." Okay. You know. And then that's how it's gone my whole life. And every time I've brought it up, every time I've gotten a new physician in my life and I've brought it up to them, they're like, "You're too young to have back problems," or, "Well, there's nothing you can really do about it. Just take Motrin." Cool. Nobody's ever offered me a muscle relaxer or looked into it further or anything, So I always just went, did massage, did chiropractic, did exercises, did, whatever. And some days are worse than others, And now with this new kink that I'm having, I'm like, well, this is a different kind of pain. So it's not one that I'm used to ignoring. It's not like muscle as much as it is like it feels like bone pain. Is the only way I can think to describe the difference. So the specialist that deals with kidney stones, that's all I know, and I don't have the paperwork in front of me. Oh, that's hysterical. Oh my goodness. That's funny. I'm pretty sure it's not a geologist. I mean, urologist, most likely, but not a geologist. I'm just saying. Like, I mean, you never know. Oh no, what do you think? It's a geologist after the age of 70. That's right, MT. Something to look forward to. Yeah. Yeah, at some point it just becomes excavation, right? It's in there. Dust. Yeah, something like that. Hey, don't be telling her about my live last night. Uh-oh. Tim, somebody better fill me in now. I did watch part of one of your videos. When was it? Yesterday when I had a little bit of time. But I'm behind on everything right now. I'm behind on the stuff I have to do here right now. And I still have to go back and pick up the kid and help Mike shoot a TikTok because he's allergic to a selfie stick. Oh, I need to go back and watch it? Uh-oh. Well, just tell me this. Was he talking schmack about me or about Mike? It's usually Mike. Usually I'm safe. Oh, you said I said you watch my videos often, comment, and I appreciate you. Why do I feel like that's not what it was said? It is true. I tried to watch Tim's videos, and I saw that you when I was pulling up my thing to look at my thing that you got your shed, but I haven't had a chance to watch the video yet. So I like to try to watch them when I can focus on them because otherwise I feel like I'm just leaving a comment. And yes, I know that helps everybody's algorithms, but I also feel like it's BS. So I try to like watch at least solidly when I have time to watch at least a chunk of it where I can really engage and like leave a good comment. But some days, like this week, not as much. Trying to be like the diva. He's in here late. Yeah, that's all right. Oh, Auntie Ann says fibber. Auntie Ann's calling you out. Dang, now I gotta know what he said. Uh-oh. Oh, great. What? Oh, cooking pork chops on the Blackstone. I read that very differently. What's up, Glenn and Shannon? All right, I don't know. I'm intrigued now. I'm gonna have to do the BS one and listen while I'm driving to pick up Frankie so I can hear what schmack was talked. Oh, we'll see. He's never seen me without it, so he wouldn't know how I look without it. It's a tease, Sid. No pictures of the shed in that video. Oh, look at him calling you out. Neil is calling you out, Tim. I just moved 4,000 pounds of concrete by hand. There's no way you did it by hand. You had to have used like a tractor or carried it one grain at a time over Mr. No Work Life. Truth, Tim did say that. That's just not all he said. Uh-oh. It wasn't that bad. Okay. I'm still going to have to go check it out, I guess. Since nobody's going to spill the beans for me, I have to go check it out. True story. There was actually a magazine ad that ran in the early 2000s with me without makeup and with makeup for a sheer cover makeup ad. And I did a couple of infomercials with them as well. And that and the DVD where they do the tutorial of it are the only places that you can find me without makeup on. There's actually a couple YouTube videos where I don't have any on, but you can't really see me. And one of them, like I've got glasses and a hat on, and I don't really have any makeup on. So, but yeah, I don't go out without it. I'm gonna go see people. If you knock on my door and I'm not dressed and I have my face on, I'm not answering the door. Dolly Parton is my spirit animal. I have no shame in my game about it. Rob said I was going to close our kid headstones. Ah. Oh, Paul did? Oh, he had Morgan help him move the concrete. Okay. Okay, I must have missed whatever other beans he spilled. And sometimes I struggle keeping up with the chat. One bag at a time, pallet to pallet, as he put it out of the weather, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Wanda's with me. There we go. I like it. I like it. Oh, see, Big Country says, "Oh, you're beautiful no matter what." Spoken like a true man that's never seen me without my face on. Well, I know that's not true, Tim. Oh no, I do when they're on. It's my eyes have gotten so bad and so sensitive to light the older that I get that I used to not wear sunglasses very often because it's supposed to be like better for you, right? But then now I have such a hard time with if it's too sunny out that I have to wear them all the time. So a lot of times you'll see me with like if I'm at a store and I have to sign for something or if I have to read something, I'll have these on my head and then I have to pull my readers out of my purse. And so I've got glasses upon glasses and my contacts in. Yeah. Big Country says, having lived the life I've lived, it would take a whole lot more than you with no makeup on to scare me off. Is it filmed? If it isn't, it didn't really happen, Ridge Life. So he's calling you out. He's calling you out. He says, yep, it's filmed. Will it be like a 6-month dozer video or will it be like timely manner? We don't know. Oh, let's come here, Snuggle Buns. Come here. Listen, I'm a girly girl. Like, bottom line, like I have since I was like my safety word when I was a kid, like when I was little, like preschool little, like from the time I could talk, my safety word for if somebody was going to come pick me up that wasn't my mom or my dad was Dolly Parton. Okay. I grew up watching 9 to 5 on repeat as a little kid and Biggest Little Whorehouse in Texas and like all of Steel Magnolias and like I watched every movie that she ever did. Straight Talk, like all the movies. Like I used to watch them over and over and over. I love Dolly Parton, right? Got to see her in concert once finally. Still haven't gone to go to Dollywood, but it will happen. Um, and so she's amazing. I just love her. I'm the same way. I just have to be how I am, and that is just what it is. We'll be early next week for his big moving concrete video where Morgan moves concrete. Tim didn't have any help. Everyone left because he was working them too hard. That could be. Jen and Morgan were like, deuces, we're Audi 5000. My safe word is Metamucil Rockin' Ranch. Right? I can't imagine trying to. I feel like that wouldn't have been approved for your needs, even with all your physical therapy and stuff, that you probably shouldn't be moving 4,000 bags or 4,000 pounds of concrete by yourself. Like, seriously. Lori says Dollywood is fun, but a bit spendy. 92 for a senior day pass. Yeah. Well, I mean, Disneyland's like, I think it's like 200 and something dollars for one day now. So I wouldn't be surprised. That's just how it is. But it's definitely on my bucket list. Definitely want to go. Thank you, Kat. Appreciate you. Shiloh says they're planning a trip to Dollywood next summer or the one after, but it's a long trip from Michigan. That's true. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we never went was because it was halfway across the country. So we never went to Dollywood, but I would always say like, oh, someday I want to go to Dollywood and I want to go to like Graceland. And most people have talked me out of going to Graceland now, which wasn't like a huge thing, but I thought, well, while I'm in Tennessee, um, but but now I'm like, well, I'm right here. It's like it's right here. you know, I mean, it's not right here. It's still, half a day's drive or whatever, but it's close enough that it's like, pack up your stuff and go. So one of these days, Frankie and I are definitely going to do it. I don't know if Mike will want to go. It's not really his jam, but I think maybe for one of Frankie's birthdays, we'll do that. It's closing after this year. I've heard a couple rumors about that, but then I've also heard people say that's not true. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google it and get to the bottom of it. Tim didn't have Grandma Carol there to cook dinner last night. He ate pretzels. Oh, poor Tim. He had no Grandma Carol and no Jen to take care of him last night, so he just ate pretzels out of a bag. I hope it's not closing. I had heard some rumors about that, but I hope it's not because I really do. Frankie and I both really want to go. She loves her too. So they've expanded Graceland. Okay. Well, maybe it's worth a trip then. I think it depends on what part of Europe you're in. Todd's Adventure says, Paul, what is a European breakfast? Doesn't it depend on which, if you're in Italy, your breakfast is going to be very different than if you're in the UK. Don't they just have what do they call it? Bangers and mash at every meal in England? I don't know.
How much time have I got left?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. I'll say hi for 2 minutes.
Madiva has arrived.
Oh,
don't sit on my cat.
Nah, cat's all right.
They have more restaurants, museums, and a concert hall. Oh, that's probably a good idea. Dollywood is closing at the end of the season for good, so if you want to go, you better get there soon.
What?
Dang it! I heard that rumor. I'm gonna have to check.
Who said something?
I've heard it online too.
Really?
Yeah, but I thought it was just fake news. But Dawn says it's true.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna be super sad if I don't get to go. Love me some bangers and mash, says Ridge Life. That's right.
Kylie Texan, what's up? Annie Ann. Go Ridge Life. They've expanded Graceland. How's that even possible?
I think the surrounding area, maybe. I don't know. Or I don't know how much land the house sits on. I don't think it sits on much. I mean, I've never been, but just from what I've seen in movies and stuff. And on the TV, who's that? Is that Frankie's new helper?
Yeah.
It's pretty
exactly
much,
right.
It's exactly right. He just signs the checks. She's the worker. He's the foreman.
How many yards did you sight in at with your AR was the question that I missed last week. Man, most rifles I sight in at 100 yards. People will debate whether they should sight them in at 200 or at 100, and some people say different for a 30 caliber than they will for a 5.56 or a 223. But I pretty much sight all rifles in at 100 yards.
Oh, your cousin said she's gonna find out because they're going up to Pigeon Forge this week. So.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I'm
let
jealous.
me know because I want to know. I want to know if it's.
I haven't been to Pigeon Forge since I was a kid.
Well, and we have there is a location for our timeshare there that we can exchange at in Pigeon Forge. So. Put your glasses on. I know. I left them in the kitchen. So I'm squinting. I'm like, I just borrow his? No.
According to Google, Dollywood has no plans to close. See? All you have to do is just ask the internet.
That's what I'm saying. Because I remember I looked it up, but then my brain doesn't. I told you guys this last couple weeks, my brain's not braining. So I remember I looked it up, but then I'm like, I don't remember. I feel like I would remember if it said it was. So I think that was a rumor that somebody started. There's been a lot of rumors that the media has been perpetuating lately in memes and stuff. So I don't know. In the kitchen said they're on your head. No, these are sunglasses. These are my sunglasses. My reading glasses that I wear on top of when I have my contacts in are in the kitchen. There's 3 pairs sitting over there. One is in my purse. Or no, there's 2 pairs sitting over there. One is in my purse and one is on the counter. Oh, and there's actually 3 pairs sitting right in my chair. I have glasses right here in the pocket of my chair. I forgot.
Boy.
I told you, my brain is broken. It's completely done.
Yeah, it's been mentally, it's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
I need to do more gardening because gardening is like,
That's his zen spot.
that's where my brain rests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody should do more gardening. If you are at all mentally stressed
or challenged, like me,
you should garden.
But I have a black thumb.
You should garden.
I mean, I do my little garden.
Oh, SLR just went live. Oh, they jumping the gun over there.
That's all right.
Oh,
I gotta go anyway.
All right, listen. When y'all bounce in there, you tell them they cut 3 Mississippi off.
Oh, stop it. Who cares?
Tell them.
I'm ready to go.
Tell them they cut us off.
The diva was late, so
that's right. I was late.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate you, and remember, safety's off.
We love you guys.